Hey everyone, welcome back to Play Casket. These are your hosts, Paraka the Goblin and
Ghost, your co-host.
And today we're going to talk more about like Vidya antique, basically a Vidya antique roadshow. A lot of weird treasures in video games and such. And when I'm saying treasures, I also want to like point out, and it might not be stuff I may have been able to collect in my past, but stuff like in MMOs, like such as World of Warcraft, like the Black Karaji tank from Classic. A lot of people who played World of Warcraft will understand how hard that thing is to get, and it's among some of the rarest stuff out there.
I guess it's also things that you picked up for, I don't know, I kind of see it like the Antiques Roadshow where, I was just shopping and I picked it up for $1.
Yeah, you picked up stuff that you wouldn't think that would be going away. Yeah. Like, in the Black Karaji tank went away shortly after a promotional, so it was gone. Mm-hmm. And there's a couple other things that are just like that too. In World of Warcraft, there's a huge list. It's 15 plus years old. However, we're going to probably talk more about a lot of physical stuff this time because I've never really had the luck in any online games, any mobile games, any games to get some super rare stuff. I've always gotten stuff that's like legendary and powerful stuff, but people can still get a lot of the stuff I own. Yeah. I'm content with it, but I've never been able to get some really cool stuff. So, we're going to talk about a lot of our rare stuff, but I'm going to go ahead and let Ghost kind of say something first. See what stuff he's found over the years.
Well, I was cleaning up my apartment, and I dug into my box of games, and I noticed my Ys collection. They've been going up, right?
Yeah, Ys. Yep. Yeah.
So I got on the PSP. Arc 1 and 2, Felghana, and 7. And I just found them when GameStop was clearancing them. Like, they were getting rid of their PSP games for the Vita games. And I think I got them for like $2 each. And
nice. Yeah. $2 each. And for, like, half of those are now like 100 plus now. Yeah. Like, it's ridiculous.
Oh, there's only 4, right? Or is there five,
I think there was a 5th one.
Okay.
I could be wrong. But it's just, I've never really played the PSP much.
Now we just need that magical ding sound when they reveal the price.
Yep, pretty much. That we don't have a soundbite thing yet. We're gonna get one. We're gonna be ridiculous one of these days. But going with $100+ games out there, like a lot of my rarest treasures out there was when I did a lot of collecting for the GameCube. Mm-hmm. One of the ones I still have to this day is actually a like skateboarding game called Go Go Hypergrand. It was like a cartoon game where you would have to go and like do stupid cartoon violence to yourself and stuff and rack up points while you're doing like these skateboarding tricks. Yeah. It was an Atlas game. So it was like one of those games like before Atlas got bought up by Sega, and Atlas was doing some weird niche games and kind of publishing stuff. And they even hired the artists of Spumco, which made Ren and Stimpy. So it was just like this huge collaboration that was very obscure, niche, very everything, right? I remember picking it up like on sale. It was new because I was very weirded out by disc-based games being used, and I couldn't get stuff that had scratches. It kind of it made me paranoid. But I picked it up on the cheap, and it was at a Game Crazy, actually. It's one of those legendary mythical stores out there that might still exist. But
Hollywood Videos.
Yeah.
Well, I guess there's only one Blockbuster left.
There's still only one Blockbuster left, and I think I'm not even sure if it's owned by the corporation or anything like that.
Yeah, is this a novelty thing?
Not necessarily. You can still rent stuff from it, like it's DVDs and stuff like that. You can still rent Blu-rays and stuff. It functions just like any other one, but streaming just destroyed that whole industry. Yeah. Like just destroyed it. That and Redbox completely destroyed it too. Yeah. But I remember getting it. It has a lot of clunky issues and stuff like that. It was one of those games that nobody really cared for a while. Mm-hmm. And then suddenly, when people started getting into GameCube collecting just in the recent years, it skyrocketed. It went from like, it used to be used, you could find it for like $20-$30 because it is one of the more older games. But like overnight it was like 60, then it was 80, then it was 125, and I think it's like nearing 160 now.
Holy crap.
It's one of the rare ones. And on like just to segue into that, since I am on that topic of GameCube, the two thing like I got a 2-game pack of some like deep cuts of From Software games.
Give me the good stuff, right?
Yeah, some deep cuts, guys. Lost Kingdoms 1 and 2. Like they are honestly they're actually my favorite From Software games.
Okay.
Like I liked Armored Core, like but they were always give and take from that one. Like
Well, the weird thing about Armored Core, it wasn't done by Miyazaki, so the Dark Souls guy, yeah.
Yeah, but regardless, that's what I know From Software from. It's Armored Core.
Yeah.
I liked Armored Core a lot, but for some reason I like the Lost Kingdom stuff a lot more.
Yeah.
They're a bit more fantastical, magical, stuff like that. I really like that stuff.
It was published by Acclaim, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, but does it say From Software on their back? 'Cause I don't think it did. Okay, it did.
Mm-hmm. It's still owned by them. Like
okay.
once Acclaim tanked, the rights went back. Like
okay.
they don't get to keep the publishing rights into the grave. But they're two I really wish that like From Software can just bundle together and re-release again, because I do think they were like some deep cut stuff that like while people talk about Dark Souls and Demon Souls and all that, everything Souls, people immediately jump to Kingsfield.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They don't look at the other like angles that From Software did. Yeah. And one of them is the Lost Kingdom series, which I thought was pretty cool. It's like this card game RPG thing.
Yeah.
Very active combat. It wasn't like Bat and Katos where it was turn-based, and it wasn't like Color Splash where everything sucked. It was like isometric kind of top-down style, but each type of card had different stuff. So you could summon, you could instantly use something like a weapon and stuff, or you did stuff that boosts things. It was really kind of interesting. You built a whole deck just to be a complete powerhouse sometimes.
Oh, okay.
And
you think they could at least reinvent, like, take the battle system and make a new game?
I
really
honestly,
cool.
I think they can. They could easily do a Lost Kingdom 3.
Yeah.
With the mechanics.
Yeah.
But you're also talking to somebody who thinks Quest 64's mechanics could still be used, even though other people say it's broken. I'm like, no, shut up. Mix elements, do things, hit things harder. Who wouldn't want that shit? Shut up. Anyway, but yeah, that's they're actually going for not as much as Go-Go Hypergrin. Like they're roughly about $100-$120.
Okay.
2 being the more expensive one.
Okay. As for me, From Software, yeah, Kingsfield 1 and 2. I'm not gonna shut up about them. And then Ancient City, I don't think they're going for too high, but I bought them for really cheap, so now they're like 70 something, I think, at least from what I remember. Dark Tower is like extremely expensive. I think it's like $200.
Wow.
I bought it. I bought it when in like I think I bought it in a mall. It was only like $10. I'll have to look at the price again. So don't quote me on the prices, but it's extremely.
I don't
high.
think I don't think the quoting would even work though. Like,
yeah, true.
Hey, this dude on the podcast said he bought it for $10. Like, no eBay reseller's gonna buy into that. Sorry.
Yeah.
Like,
well, no, for like, just how high it's charging for. Because I've only seen one seller who's selling it for like $200 or something like that. So, I guess it's $200. But if you can find a copy, grab it.
Yeah, it's probably going pretty high. But we are like, there's a couple other things game related, not games themselves, that I have gotten that didn't dawn on me until a little bit later into the script and stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to wedge a little bit in here. When I was a kid, there was an interesting movie that most people probably didn't even really know about. It was called Pokemon, the first movie, and they had a little promo thing that you got the very first time Mew came out type of card. It was Ancient Mew. It was in like it had its own like lettering and stuff, so you actually had to translate it to figure out what the card really said and all this stuff. And I have 2 of the Ancient Mews. I have one that because they were facing the back, so you actually had to pull them out of the thing and flip them around.
Mm-hmm.
I have two of them. I have one that I pulled out, flipped them around, and put it in the thing, and I have another one from my brother that I also still have. Still got them to this day, even after I've gotten robbed and stolen from and get kicked out and people confiscating my card books and stuff because I was young and I couldn't fight back. Still got that one. It's still good a treasure, and it's, I think from last time I looked, I don't know too much yet. Last time I looked, it was roughly about $80-$85 a card.
Oh, okay, nice.
So it's not huge.
Yeah.
But it's a more of a collector one, but it's also with all my like Japanese Team Rocket cards, because I used to import a lot of them because I liked the art instead, because I was terrible at the game. But that was one of my little treasures right there.
Okay.
So that was one I wanted to at least add into there. Not game related, but there it is.
Not game related, but kind of game related. My Pyro Myth figures. Right? Is he gonna play 2 figures? Yeah, they're nice.
Yeah. No, they're for most people who are not seeing anything, they're literally sitting above us, kind of like some religious statuesque. But they're how much they're going for now?
Like 200-300. Like they basically doubled in price.
Okay, so they were about $100 originally.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I did see that too when I was looking at the what is it, the Palomino, whatever they call it for Monster Hunter Rise.
Oh, the Palamute? Yeah.
Yeah, Palamute. They had this huge pillow thing, right? Plush thing for about $150, $200. You could import it. It is now $500.
Oh my god.
I was like, whoa. But that's just a side note.
Well, maybe it's just the whole COVID thing that things have kind of spiked, but I guess.
Well,
I
think a lot of it is not just COVID, but also just inflation in general. Yeah. We're hitting a huge inflation bubble right now. Everything's just exploding, and people are saying, "Well, if we just spend more money, I'm like, that's is gonna be bad."
Anyways,
pick up your assets. But yeah, no, that's some stuff that we've gotten over the time. I would probably say that we also, even though we have not, we're sharing a bunch of the stuff we've gotten over the years, there's still stuff we have not found.
Yeah.
And there's some of this is going to be pretty dumb for me to say, but there's some games out there that aren't even that great, that since I'm collecting on the Switch, I'm going to try to find on the Switch. And I remember having it in my cart, and I decided against it because I was trying to make sure I was budgeting properly and being responsible. And now I can't find Redeemer on Nintendo Switch. No import, no local one, nothing.
No one's selling their copy either?
No.
Damn.
No one's selling their copy right now. And that's just weird because, what is it? The Island Flight Simulator in Europe is going for $300 right now, and I still don't have that either. But I can find it. That's the point.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So that's just one stupid game. I know it's new. It's like ridiculous. It's supposed to be on Switch. Blah blah blah. It's apparently really hard to find for a console that is current. This is weird.
Yeah. Oh man.
Like it's not like a limited print game.
There's nothing special to it either.
No.
They just stopped.
They just stopped producing it. Like Atelier Ryza, they did that same thing until somebody just, I guess, Tecmo Koei did another print recently because I seen the price go back down.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So, just whatever. I'm just gonna say that right now. I know Nippon Ichi Software also put out a email recently asking what type of games people are interested in seeing a reprint, and several of the games that are roughly about $80 to $100 right now. Are on that list. So
hopefully
expect a couple of those to get reprints later and the price just plummet back down.
I'm praying for any Vanillaware on the Switch or at least PC. Jesus Christ. Like Odin Sphere for the Vita is going for $129 now. I should have bought that when it was at least $60. Like it's a $40 game. You can still get it digitally, but I want a physical copy.
And it's funny how people are like saying that the digital world is going to ruin the physical element, but it's actually gotten harder.
Yeah.
Because people want that stuff, and I think more and more people are starting to notice that physical copies are far more preserved
Yeah.
than a digital space.
Well, you just gotta watch out when they don't freaking George Lucas that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What was that one game? The Division, I think. They had to change the song out because they weren't willing to pay for the rights, so they had to redo everything. So it was this huge. There was like the before song patch and the after song patch, and they're like, "Hey, everybody, come and get your patch because we can't pay for the license anymore." And if you had the physical version, well, you'll still have that song in there, but because there's a new patch that forced it, like everybody else who has the game before that will have that song, but everybody else behind that, they'll have a different,
basically a different version. And
yeah,
the same thing with ukulele with what was it, Jontron?
Yeah,
And his
just
controversial interactions with the internet, and you some places, even though the Switch version has the post patch, so he's not in it.
Yeah.
The other ones still have it.
Yeah.
So like that type of thing makes those far more lucrative,
Yeah.
right? That, and on top of that, if these games, let's say for instance, since we're talking on Switch, let's say the Switch is no longer supported. Now, if I have a digital, like little monolithic terabyte SD card, which I do, all it takes is maybe one time I'm loading it up and the power to go out.
Yeah.
It could ruin that whole thing.
Yeah.
Right? You can't control that power.
Yeah.
You know? Or maybe you, like, grab it, you take it out, and, like, slips and it could fall in, like, a small little, like, dab of water or juice or whatever on your table because you're a little bit messy and you didn't realize you had a small drop of whatever.
Yeah.
It can happen. Will it be the most likely scenario? No. But there's multiple things that can be small. Add them all up. Is a potential. But the moment you ruin it, it's gone.
Yeah.
You can't re-download it. Whereas, if you had one game, and let's say your dog chews it up, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can still buy that one game. You're only out that one game.
Yeah.
But you have to come to terms with you whether or not that game is going to be worth the amount of money you find it for.
Yeah.
But it's still there. It's still reasonable. It's still something you can do. So that's why I like doing a lot of collecting of physical games.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I'm having problems finding Redeemer.
Okay, I would say the other the Game Boy Advance games. Like, I love the Game Boy Advance. Drill Dozer and Boktai 1 and 2. I should have kept the boxes, though. Oh, my God. Or at least Drill Dozer.
I had boxes when I was growing up, and my parental units decided to toss them out. It is a very sad tragedy. It's the worst tragedy I've had.
Oh, Boktai 1 and 2, they were brand new and pristine, too, and my stupid ass threw those out.
I only had Boktai 2. I never
Okay.
played Boktai 1. Or not Boktai. Lunar Nights.
Lunar Nights? So.
Lunar Nights. I got
Yeah.
Lunar Nights. That's
Lunar
what
Nights
I
is
got. That's what I got. Ignore me saying I got Boktai. That was a lie.
But that's a game you can't replicate. Like, I mean, I guess if you can emulate it and put on the sun sensor, but to have the actual physical game, you got to get your Game Boy and go out, or your Game Boy Advance and go outside in the sun. It's such a good game.
Oh, that sun glare just preventing you from seeing what the fuck's going on. And there's, as far as game things go, I think one of the hardest things I have had issues with is finding a properly working, meaning I've found these before and they're a little wonky, Sega Saturn.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot, for the life of me, find one that's really working.
I think, yeah, I remember one of my friends saying they get a lot of issues, actually.
Yeah. So they're just like, it's really hard to find something like that. Like, not even like Retron's touched it yet. I would love for Retron to touch that game system. Please. And
Next time
and when I finally find a Saturn, I got a couple games for it.
Yeah.
Not too many. I would love to hunt down the Star Wars fighting game. Mm-hmm. I forgot it off the top of my head. But it was probably the most fun. It's actually one of the reasons why I wanted a Saturn back then. I never got one. Mm-hmm. Because the 64 came out and I was a kid and I have attention span of a bumblebee. But the Star Wars fighting game was actually the coolest shit on that system.
Yeah.
And plus, I could like beat the crap out of Luke Skywalker as Chewbacca. That was hilarious. But yeah, no, that's some of the stuff I'm still looking for. But what do you think about games that might be something you people need to be looking into now?
Predictions, I would say Metal Gear 3DS. That's one of the ones I think will be one of the ones that's going to be shooting
I can
up.
see that.
Yeah, because unless maybe Konami will give us Snake Eater on the newer consoles, but yeah, this is like brand new updated controls and everything, and Konami hasn't touched it since, so we'll see where it goes.
I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I'm actually surprised that they haven't made at least the first trilogy of Metal Gear on any system.
Yeah, well, I guess we got 2 and like the SNES ones on GOG, so.
Okay. Well, I'm talking about like just
update the controls and everything.
Yeah, updated the controls. Just kind of just wrap them up in a trilogy of some kind.
Yeah.
And just ship it out.
Yeah.
Like honestly, it would make so much sense for them to do that, and that's free money, especially for Konami, who's financially kind of stumbling. I wouldn't say they're struggling. They're stumbling. They're being dumb.
Yeah. Just give me Snake Eater. I love that game so much.
I'm surprised they haven't done it.
Yeah.
But and hell, that will make some of these games a lot easier to find because some of these people will not find a desire to try to track them down.
Yeah.
You know, but they're still good treasures.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Codename Steam is just $5, but it's still a treasure to me. God damn it!
Wait for the next big debut. Once who are the designers again?
Intelligent Systems.
Intelligent Systems. Yeah. Wait until they make their big like debut RPG, and everybody's gonna be like, oh, let's get Codename Steam.
They already do. It's called Fire Emblem.
Well, no, it'll be like one of those ones where it's very obscure and everybody's gonna want it. Just like how From Software got their huge break.
Yeah, with the Souls.
Yeah,
and now I was talking about Lost Kingdoms and stuff. So same thing with like Persona. Like people are trying to track down Go Hyperground now.
Yeah,
because of Persona.
Persona 4 Golden for the Vita. Yeah, I bought it I think I got it for like $20 sealed, and Total Biscuit said pick those up because they're gonna go up because I think Atlas said we're gonna stop production. So I picked up Danganronpa and Ultra Despair Girls and Persona 4, and yeah, now they're like 120 plus or something like that. So
yeah, I'm hearing rumors on the 25th anniversary that there's always been talk. There's been like physical like traits for a game called a Persona game on Switch, and it just says Persona, right?
Yeah.
So that could be anything, right? Mm-hmm. But there's been talks that they are, because it's not being very blunt on which one it is, they're predicting that it's probably Persona 4. Okay. Or at least Persona 4 involved.
Yeah.
So we might actually see Golden on the Switch. I don't know. I've just been hearing some rumors. That's just all I know. Okay. So there it is. But as far as like predictions go, I'm gonna say this. This is probably gonna be really, really hard, especially right now. So Bayonetta got a limited edition in Japan, or at least Bayonetta 2, quote unquote, for the Switch. And it's the only way you can get Bayonetta 1 physically on the Switch.
Yeah.
It is, and even without the rest of the collection, without the backle, just the game itself, I do think Bayonetta 1 is going to be super hard to find for everyone. Okay. It's going to be ridiculous because not only will the game probably eventually, there's going to be people who open that stuff and it splits apart, and then the one's kind of dancing around out there somewhere by itself.
Okay.
There is. It's going to be really hard because it's only from like 500 of these things.
Oh, wow.
So there's like only 500 of those floating around. Mm-hmm. So those are going to be really hard to find. And I'm going to say this, and I know it's going to sound dumb, but for Nipponichi Software, I think it's going to be Prinny 1 and 2.
Okay.
Namely because it's so an obscure version and it's obscure spin-off of the Disgaea series that I don't think many people will just pay attention to it until later.
Okay.
Now that 6 is out, and
okay.
6 is generating a lot of hype because it's an exclusive to the Switch and stuff, some people are probably going to be looking at picking up the older games, and most likely all the Disgaea ones. Nobody's probably going to be paying attention to Prinny as much, even then.
Okay.
And I think because of that, it's just going to go to the wayside until eventually they're going to be like, remember that game back then?
Yeah.
That's some good shit.
Okay.
And it's gonna be harder to find. It's nowhere near a decent game. It's a decent game.
Yeah.
It's nowhere near a good game, but it's just one of those like what's a good word, like
obscure?
No, a relic
Okay.
of Disgaea's like legacy.
Okay.
And I would say people should start looking to pick those up. And I'm not even talking about just the Switch one. I do think the Switch one's going to probably be the most demanded for, because a lot of people are huge collectors in the Switch, more so than in the PlayStation and Xbox fandoms. But that doesn't mean that it's not going to be less rare there. It's just going to be becoming more demanding just for the Switch.
Okay.
So I would say for people who are fans of that, probably pick it up.
Okay.
And probably, I'm just going to say my last one is probably Atelier Ryza.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
As popular as it is, they haven't really made many reproductions of it. And I think a lot of the reproductions have stopped. So whatever's sold out there is out there.
Yeah.
So for anybody who's an Atelier fan, pick those up. Mm-hmm. Especially because it's like the most popular Atelier series, so they're probably going to be doing more later of more Ryza. I think there's going to be a Ryza 3. I'm not.
Okay.
I really think it's going to be a Ryza 3. I'm not sure if it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be a new one. It's going to be Ryza 3.
Okay.
But because of that, I think the first two are going to be getting more and more obscure.
Okay. Man, I don't know what else. I get the Game & Watches, right?
Well, the Game & Watches eventually. Like, as soon as they all sell out for the Mario ones, because there is still a few, very few out there. Once they're all gone, it's going to become demand.
Yeah.
As soon as people realize they're gone, they're going to want.
Yeah.
Not the fact that it's out there and it's always constantly just sitting there. Nobody's paying. They're like, oh, I got time. You got time until they're no longer there.
Yeah.
Then suddenly you no longer got time.
Although I guess PSP and Vita games too, they've been really, really climbing there.
Yeah, and the GameCube stuff too. If you go to a lot of like used places and stuff, they're just a shelf or two now.
God,
it's
stop
insane.
people. Yeah.
Like,
I want to finish my collection. Stop buying these.
I have no problem filling in the Madden thing, but that's it. Hey, by the way, EA, port Madden 2008. Because reasons. But yeah, no, that's about what I'm saying. You know, some warnings to those who are collectors out there, and some stories about some of the great things we've had. If you have some stuff that you want to go ahead and cloud about, go ahead and post a comment in the video below.
Comment what's the coolest stuff you got.
Yeah,
Damn.
like I would like to hear some of that stuff. Like, it's really cool for me to listen to. Like, I've seen some stuff that's just hanging on some walls and stuff out there. It's pretty cool. So go ahead, tell us what you've gotten that you feel is pretty treasured, and what you think is actually going to be out there. And if you think I'm full of shit about printing, you go ahead and try to tell me about that too.
Thumbs up, subscribe.
Yeah, don't forget to subscribe if you like our stuff. Ring that bell if you want to hear more of us being ranty. And we will see you on the other side.
Bye.